What is an industry secret that you know? If you give one website your name, another website your number, and another website your email, there are services that merge info together by scanning the web and build a profile of you for ad targeting and sales. Some of you may assume this already, but it is standard practice and utilized more frequently than you might think. Hospitals suck at cybersecurity. Nutrition labels on small, not well-known brands can be inaccurate, and nobody would ever know. Once you send your food product out to a lab to have a nutrition label created for it, that is the last time anyone is ever going to check it. It would take someone to pay for a new analysis at a lab to see if the percentage of core gum, for example, is still accurate, and nobody is going to do that. The stuff that makes movie theater popcorn taste like movie theater popcorn is called Flavacle. It's a salt-like additive that you can buy yourself and add to your popcorn at home. A carton lasts forever because you only need like a teaspoon of Flavacle per cup of kernels, and it's indistinguishable from the popcorn you get at the movies. Just last night we were playing a gig and my guitarist said he was going to show us a little trick he uses to get everyone on the dance floor. Over the mic he asked everyone to come up in front of the stage so we could get a group picture of everyone who came to the show. As soon as he got the pic we started playing and everyone stayed on the floor until the end of the set. It was a great used to screen resumes for small companies. Job requirements are more of a wish list situation. Never let some unchecked boxes deter you from applying. You have no idea what the applicant pool is like. The biggest boon, especially at small companies, is someone who legitimately cares. Theater seats aren't all the same size. Some are narrower than others. We use a variety to manipulate the sawtooth arrangement so that you look through a gap between heads, not straight into the head of the person in front of you. That means some seats are better, i.e., wider, than others. ER veterinarian. When your pets are hospitalized or need to stay at the clinic, unless they're aggressive, need to be monitored very carefully, or we're absolutely slammed. They are constantly getting positive attention from the staff. I've had kennel attendants and techs cuddle up with patients on their breaks. Myself and colleagues have made phone calls or typed up records while holding onto your pets. We routinely talk about how cute the patients are. In fact, it's a running joke that we would get fired immediately if we worked in human medicine, etc. And we do get attached to your pets. We know that your pet got into your weed, and we truly don't care. Seriously. Just be honest. We operate on a triage basis. Sicker things are seen first, regardless of how long others have been waiting. If you're a shitty person and you're constantly upfront complaining to staff about the wait time / the decor / why there isn't enough staff, being difficult in other ways, being dismissive to the non-doctors, and your pet is stable and has been triaged similarly to another pet that came in around the same time, we're not picking up your file until we have to. So much of my job involves giving bad news, talking to emotional people who often take out their feelings on those around them, and having to defend the costs of emergency care and surgery, that I'm not going to eagerly jump into taking a file for someone who's being difficult before they've even been spoken to. Some plus-size models get liposuction on their face and necks to be more aesthetically pleasing. When you're buying a higher-end refrigerator, you're basically only paying for fancier doors. Most of the inner workings are the same, just a different door configuration. I used to work in the appliance industry. Recipe for Coca-Cola. Ingredients: citrate caffeine 1 ounce. Extract vanilla 1 oz. Flavoring 2.5 ounces, detailed below. Fe cocoa 4 ounces. Citric acid 3 ounces. Lime juice 1 quart. Sugar 30 pounds. Water 2.5 gallons. Caramel sufficient. Flavoring: oil orange 80. Oil lemon 120. Oil nutmeg 40. Oil cinnamon 40. Oil coriander 20. Oil neroli 40. Alcohol 1 quart, let stand for 24 hours. These are all in US imperial measurements and the flavoring units are in minims or mints. 1 minute is literally 1 drop of liquid. That flavoring section, combined with the vanilla extract, is what is collectively known at the company as 7X, the ultra secret 7 things which make the flavor. The alcohol is only used to extract the flavors and doesn't end up in the final drink. I'm repair tech at Chuck E. Cheese. There are some games we can adjust the payout for and some we can't. We have a number called ticket per play or ticket per tap that we have to try to maintain. Every game and ride is adjusted somehow so we can get to that average number. The length of the ride is so you will tap your card more or less times. Some games have fixed ticket payout we can't adjust, so we adjust other games up or down to get the whole average to that magical number. If one game we can't change pays out 4 tickets on average and the number we want to reach is 6, for instance, I would adjust another game that can be adjusted to 7 or 8 to compensate, because the boss only cares about the average payout on a whole, not on the individual games, unless it's insanely high or low. If a game is cheating you out of tickets, we probably did that on purpose to compensate for something else. This also goes for the claw machine. We can control how often it pays out. Tickets can be bought at 1 penny per ticket. If you drop a quarter into a token machine, if it doesn't pay you 25 tickets, you're better off just buying tickets. No, we don't reuse pizza. It's cheaper and easier to just make another one since we get the ingredients in bulk. It's just that we cut into smaller slices so it's harder to do right, plus the kitchen personnel usually doesn't care about making it look perfect. No, the job isn't fun. My job is to make sure you have fun. My job is stressful. I'll answer any questions people have. The machine that injects white fluff into Twinkie operates at 37 psi. If turned up to 55, it blows the twinkle to bits and makes a big mess in the lab. I was told during my driver training for a public bus company, if a car pulls out in front of you, causing you to slam the brakes, hit it. Let the passengers claim insurance from the car driver. If you slam the brakes, avoid the collision, the injured passengers can sue the bus company. Vehicles are offloaded from roll-on, roll-off ferries, aka RoRos, in a specific order for weight and balance reasons. If you are nice to the crew and give us cookies, you will be offloaded sooner. If you are verbally abusive to the crew, you will be offloaded last. Dead last. For weight and balance. Dawn dish soap is the single best way to clean up an oil spill on the small scale. The US government went to great lengths to try and make their own cheaper in-house equivalent of Dawn for cleaning up oil, but they found that they couldn't make it better or cheaper than Dawn already did, so they just buy Dawn. Most fitness models, coaches, and influencers are using anabolic steroids or did it once at least, and among competitive bodybuilders everyone does it, but almost no one admits it. Teachers routinely fudge kids' grades upward. Sometimes it's because a kid is nice. Sometimes it's because administrators pressure us. Sometimes we're afraid of being sued. That high graduation rate at your local HS? It's most likely due to the books being cooked. ETA, I've said this before, but this whole situation is a prime example of Goodhart's law in action. When a metric becomes a target, it loses all meaning. The HS I teach at touts a low number of suspensions and no expulsions this year. And yet, it is almost guaranteed that a student will tell me to go fuck myself when I ask for his phone tomorrow. ETA again, for all the people talking about kids getting held back, that doesn't happen anymore really. I've been teaching 20 years and I can count on one hand the number of students I've seen get held back. It's exceptionally rare. The military typically disposes of old vehicles by parking it somewhere on a large base, and abandoning it. Sometimes they use them as training targets. It's cool but eerie to see. I know where there's a lake that's full of Sherman tanks. They drove them out there in the late 50s in the winter and left them to fall through. In the restaurant industry, The secret is that the special sauce is often just a clever blend of the same condiments you have in your fridge: mayo, ketchup, and a dash of mystery. The blue flakes in your laundry detergent are just the white flakes dyed blue. Right now, mass transit agencies in most cities are dealing with massive shortages of drivers, mechanics, and many other administrative positions. The drivers are working 70+ hours every week just to keep the system going. Drivers need a CDLB with P endorsement, therefore there is nothing illegal about working a driver 17 hours a day. Therefore, transit agencies are forcing drivers, per union contract in most cases, using inverse seniority, to work constantly. It's a huge safety risk, but no one seems to care about that. Healthcare IT is held together with duct tape and twine. Related, pay attention to the treatment release forms. Your health data is being sent everywhere and there's not shit you can do about it. No sign, no treatment. Edit. Apparently it is possible to opt out of your state's health information exchange, but it must be done with the exchange itself. The process varies by state and can be painful. The $3,000 a month one-bedroom condo you are renting in the heart of a very large city probably has bottles of urine behind the drywall. They really need to put more washrooms in large construction sites. Never take the first settlement offer. Always counter. When dealing with savvy parties, the initial settlement demand is often twice the amount of money that the party wants. Marriott actually has 6 tiers on its rewards program. For most people, there are 5, starting at silver, and working your way up through the shiny metals to ambassador, which requires spending 100 nights and more than $23,000 on rooms in a year, and you have to maintain this to keep it. But what their website doesn't tell you is that there is a tier called Cobalt, which can only be given out by the CEO. Naturally, this tier can transform even a lowly Fairfield into a full-service property. I've never seen one, but the only reason I know was because I was given the GM's training manual while learning how to do night audit. If you're an asshole, you get quoted higher labor rates. Nothing vindictive, but at the end of the day your job will take longer to complete if you're breathing down the crew's backs and trying to nitpick and micromanage. It's the only way to accurately quote and schedule. In the visual effects industry, everybody learns on bootleg software of some sort. That is why those $2,600 list prices don't surprise anyone. I even had a high-level employee of one of the companies that make it yell at me once, "We don't care about some lone kid using it, we want to nail the companies pirating it." He was upset because I had heard through an industry grapevine that a big post house had been caught with bootleg software. You know those adverts that show someone who's maybe a bit overweight and kind of out of shape, but then they follow this diet or use this one bit of equipment that's being sold, and suddenly they're super ripped and fit? Yeah, those people are almost always professional, or at least semi-professional athletes. They take the before pic when they've just had an injury/surgery/illness that kept them from training/working out, and the after pic is just them returning to their natural state when they're back working out, etc. It doesn't really have anything to do with the diet or equipment being sold. I worked for FedEx Trade Networks clearing customs shipments, and almost anyone buying anything over $800 or stuff from China and a few select other countries have to provide what's called a 5106. A 5106 is a form the US government uses for duties and tax purposes and shit, but on the form you need to provide a social security or IN number. We started working remote in 2021 and on my work computer from inside my house, with nobody being able to ever know I had access to hundreds of social security numbers, addresses, names, and everything to easily steal identities. That's not even the kicker. This is an entry-level position and anyone can work it and have access to this shit. If you import personally from overseas and need to provide a 5106, you're better off getting a LLC to avoid the very high possibility that some dipshit FedEx hired doesn't snap a photo of your 5106 form from his phone. Depending on the specific deal and artist, Ticketmaster splits all those fees with the artist, sometimes at 100%, in addition to the face, door, price. Plus the artist gets a guarantee. The fees are part of the price of the ticket, and Ticketmaster takes the heat for the high prices so the artist can look good for the fans. Source: built the software Live Nation used to book these deals. I work for a small roofing company. These small businesses rely on good Google reviews from homeowners to get new business. If we think you will leave a great review, we will usually help you out on the price of any additional cost that may come up. If you're a dick during the install, then I will probably charge you full price. The places you put your parents, even the more expensive ones. Independent and assisted living. Most are owned by investors who really don't care about your loved ones. Especially the larger corporate ones with multiple units in different states. Some people are paying thousands per month for the bare minimum of care and facilities. The shit I see and hear will make your skin crawl. Most of the bugs found in video games weren't missed by the testers. There was a production decision not to fix them. Water coming from wastewater treatment plants is cleaner than the river water it's going into. The main problem is not enough dissolved oxygen. That's seriously the biggest danger. Meanwhile, the worst pollution for most rivers is runoff causing high biochemical oxygen demand, BOD. AKA too much food for bacteria that also consume O2, so just like the danger from the wastewater treatment plant, fish suffocate. All the random stuff from metal finishers is stopped before it's allowed into the sewer system. If the system is working correctly. All the most famous living artists have workshops full of people who make the art for them. They spend their time choosing concepts, talking to their gallery reps and schmoozing buyers. The only time they touch the work is to sign it. If you're shopping online, start the checkout process and then before paying close your window. You'll very likely get a coupon with a discount over the next few days in your email. Your massage therapist doesn't care about your size or your body hair, but they appreciate when you've showered within a few days of your appointment and have brushed your teeth. They aren't judging you for the things you feel self-conscious about, but they are judging you if you are an entitled asshole. Saying things like "my wife would not be happy if she knew how hot you were," although it may seem to you like a harmless compliment, is creepy and will get you on the do not schedule list. That one shouldn't be a secret, but apparently, there are men who are oblivious to this. With the advancement in lab-grown diamonds in the past few years, even the most experienced gemologists can barely distinguish them from mined diamonds. Don't waste your money on real diamonds anymore. Thrift shops throw away a lot of donations and there's bugs in the back more often than would make any customer comfortable.